Hey Bloom Buds, happy Tuesday. Hope all of my fellow Floridians are prepped and staying safe while we wait for this hurricane. I did see a funny meme today that I wanted to share with you guys that said waiting for a hurricane is like being stalked by a turtle. And I think that's about the most appropriate thing I've ever heard about hurricanes. So today what we're going to be doing is taking a look at what I keep in my toolbox. So essentially the necessities for floral design and arranging. This is simply a bag that I picked up at Home Depot, so you can find anything that works for you and has a nice big opening. So come along with me today while I show you the tools that I have and that I like to use. Please feel free to leave me any tips or tricks that you have or share what you keep in your toolbox. So let's take a look. First thing that I keep in my toolbox are my clippers. These you can find online, you can find them at your local floral distribution center, but make sure that you get a good pair that's nice and sharp. Additionally, I keep scissors in my toolbox, so I have two different kinds. Why two different kinds of scissors, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. One is for your average everyday things, like if you're going to be cutting bouquet paper, if you have some other items that you need to cut, you want to keep a pair in your bag and keep them handy. The other pair of scissors that I have is specifically for ribbon. They're a little bit bigger and I make sure to keep them sharp at all times. And if you can see it, I put a little R on just to remind myself. So those are our scissors and things that we keep in. The clippers I'm gonna leave out for a minute. Another thing that I keep in my toolbox are wire cutters and a pair of pliers. I have two different sizes here because you might use different gauges of wire and you might need to do different things with the wire depending on what you're arranging. The pliers I have in here are basically your standard needle nose pliers. These are great if you're using wire and you need to move it around, or you're using chicken wire and you're trying to manipulate it, and it also just keeps you from maybe getting poked. So always keep a good pair of pliers in your toolbox. I also, for arranging, keep a box of pearl-headed pins. These are great for multiple uses. So you see it's just a regular pin with a little pearl on it. They come in a variety of colors. So just make sure you have a color that works for what you want to do. I find these are great to keep in my bag because they're multi-use and they go with just about anything. You can use these for floral headpieces. You can use them in bouquets or different arrangements and centerpieces. They're just a really great tool to have in your toolbox. It's small and it's really easy to keep in there. Next up, floral tape. Now, this you're going to use all the time. You can use this to wrap stems, to help keep bouquets together. It's an essential piece of your toolkit. And again, you can get this online or at any floral distribution center or probably from your local Michaels. Another important tool that I have is wire. Now, this comes in a lot of different gauges. In my toolbox, I keep a 22 gauge and a 24 gauge. The only difference is one is a little thicker than the other. Again, that's where those pliers and wire cutters come in handy. You never want to use your scissors or your floral clippers to cut wire. It can dull the blade, and then when you go to do other things, you just won't get as nice and sharp of a cut. So keep a pair of wire cutters in your bag. I also keep a pocket knife in my bag. You can use any pocket knife. You can get a simple Swiss Army knife. It really doesn't matter. It just comes in handy a lot of times, depending on what you're doing. You have something specific that you need to cut. This will come in really handy. And then twine. I use twine for just about everything. You're making a nice mason jar bouquet, you want to tie a posy bouquet, literally anything you can think of, there's twine for it. I just keep a few different sizes and types. This is actually more of a wrapped wire, but it looks like twine, and I just have two different colors in my bag, depending on what I'm going to do with it. That's about all the tools that I have in my bag. The one other thing that I always keep on me is a Band-Aid. Why a Band-Aid, you say? Well, this can be a little bit dangerous at times. And I can't even begin to tell you how many of these I've used in the past week alone. So always keep a Band-Aid with you. Now, since I'm just getting started with Blossom and Bloom, and our first market is this Friday, hurricane permitting, of course, I'm sure that this toolbox will adapt and change over time. And you might have different things in your toolbox than I have in mine, and that's perfectly fine. But again, my best tip is to spend the money and get a really good and really sharp, I can't emphasize that enough, set of clippers. I love mine, and it's probably the tool you will use the most. So while you're here with us, take a minute and visit us at www.blossomblooms.com. On our site, you can check out our Bloom Box, which is our monthly subscription service, so you can have fresh flowers from us delivered right to your door if you live within a 10-mile radius. Otherwise, you can pick them up at our first markets of the month, so you'll never have an empty vase again if you subscribe with us. You can also find out where we will be on our calendar page. This week, we will be at the Hub at Bexley Friday Market from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. on September 1st. And then on Saturday, we'll be heading over to the Trinity Farmers Market from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So make sure to come out and visit us. And that's all for today. So please stay safe, my fellow Floridians and Southerners in the path of this hurricane. Everyone else, those of you up north, enjoy the beginning of fall weather. And stay tuned for more videos coming from us, and like and follow us on Instagram at Blossom_N_Bloom_Flowers, or at TikTok on Blossom N Bloom Flowers, no underscore. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you soon.